Do you ever freeze up when you want to approach a woman? Are you familiar with that gut-wrenching feeling that tells you face death if she rejects you? Do you physically feel ill at the idea of just going up and speaking to her? Do you know that this is a common scenario and a lot of men suffer from it? What is up? It is David Bauer with another episode from Ace of Hearts Academy. Thank you for taking this time to invest in yourself, your future, and your future relationships. And congratulations on making the decision to break up with loneliness, because I promise you, your future relationship will thank you for it. By the end of this video, you will have an understanding of why fear is one of the most common destroyers of men's attraction and how to counter it. A little side story, years ago, I used to be terrified at the idea of just walking up to a strange, and when I say strange, I mean new, woman that I had never met and simply just starting a conversation with her. It took me years to slowly build up the courage to just go up and say hi. Fortunately, I'm going to compress that process for you in this video. So first, let's address the idea of why we even feel that fear of approach in the first place. So when we take this back as far as the caveman era, when we were all living in tribes. Now, the tribe was a means of survival, and if you were not part of the tribe, you were most likely dead. So it makes sense, of course, that in order to stay in the tribe, it would be a good idea not to piss anybody off, or else we'd probably get kicked out of the tribe. So literally, our brain associates the idea of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing as a fast track to becoming a dead man. Now, you're probably thinking, but David, it's been 2 million years since that time. Hasn't my brain developed since then? Well, no, actually, unfortunately, it hasn't. In fact, the human brain is exactly the way it was then. No change. Sorry. So you have a 2 million year old brain that is telling you you're basically going to die from getting kicked out of the tribe if you go up and say the wrong thing and get rejected by this woman who you have never met. Don't beat yourself up over this. It's just the way your brain is trying to survive. And at the time, it worked. For that time, it would have been correct. However, 2 million years later, it's wrong, but it still thinks it's correct. In fact, to take this even farther, the brain literally experiences the same chemical reactions to pain as it does rejection or to failure. So, quite literally, in some ways, your brain is literally equating the idea of getting rejected or failing with this woman to the sensation of losing a limb. This is your brain's natural reaction. I confess, sometimes I wonder who exactly is on whose side here. Now, I do go a little deeper into how this psychology works in this other video, which I highly recommend you watch after this one. And I also do trainings on this type of psychology, technique, etc., not only during my workshops, but also during my one-on-one coaching and during my courses and also during my workshops, which you can all find on my website. And I'm going to go ahead and include all the links to that below. So back to the brain thing. If all this isn't bad enough, maybe you've even had an experience in your past that confirms some of the pain that your brain is telling you you're going to indefinitely feel. Maybe you've been through a divorce in the past. That's a very painful experience, and I'm not belittling that in any way, but I would encourage you to ask yourself, if you've been through that, if you're letting that experience and the pain that you experienced stop you from trying again. Are you letting it form a block? Maybe you've been rejected before and it was a really hard rejection. Again, ask yourself, is that stopping you from trying again? Is that forming a block? In our past, fear was meant to be a control factor because it was our brain's way of keeping us alive. It was what told us not to, say, jump off of a cliff because we don't have feathers. However, in today's world, man does in fact fly. We've actually become, well, considerably better at it than the depiction I put here. We've actually become pretty good at it. And if we had let that initial fear from so many ages ago stop us, we would have been discouraged from ever trying to fly at all. We would have never even put a man on the moon. Recognize fear for what it truly is. It is a psychological defense of the mind. It is there to keep you from doing stupid stuff. But it is no longer as important as maybe it used to be in the past. I could hardly equate going up and talking to a strange new woman, or maybe we should just call her the girl that smiled at you, to jumping off of a cliff. There's a time and place for fear, and there's a time and place to push past fear and discover something truly great. Again, I do go deeper on the topic of psychological attraction, confidence, etc. in my courses, workshops, and on my one-on-one coaching. I also have a free one-on-one coaching available through my website. And if you're interested in any of that, I'm going to go ahead and include the links below. And that's the tip for this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends, leave a comment. Remember, no fear. And as always, get out there and ace it.